The Braw and the Brave with me, Lisa Kennedy. First off, I really want to give a massive shout out to our sponsor on this episode. A sponsor for the podcast. How cool is that? Standout Theatre School in Falkirk. Big up. You got to go and check out their socials. I have actually been to Standout Theatre School in Falkirk and they are doing amazing things. It's not just a place to learn drama skills and dance skills. It's a place to belong and learn from industry professionals whilst having loads of fun. So please go and check them out. And all their links and stuff will be in down there where you're watching, so be sure to check them out. And also, please, I know I always forget this, I know. It's the plug, guys. Please follow The Braw and the Brave on all our socials. And if you're not on Patreon, we would love to see you there because there's some really excellent extra content just for you on Patreon. So please go and follow us there. But now that I've done that bit, you know the bit that I don't like doing the camera? This is the best bit. I have the amazing Robyn Richford.
Hey. Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. I was just like smiling from ear to ear. I think you're fabulous.
Well, I was just saying to Robyn, like, this is everybody's job in telly is safe.
No,
nobody is quaking in their boots.
I am.
away. I'm totally fine, girl, that you're here. I'm so chuffed you're here. I feel like it's one of those things, and I bet you get this a lot because of the aura that you give off. Like, I feel like I already knew you when you came in. I was like, there's Robyn. You don't know Robyn. You've no met her till today.
That's Instagram, isn't it?
No, but it's you.
Do you think?
Oh, 100%. Like, not everybody can do that. Robyn, like, you just have a lovely aura about you. And your online presence, it's a snapshot of who you are and what you do. But I think that's, like, takes an extra special person. Obviously, listen to you in the radio.
Yes.
Then you get a sense of, like, I want to hang about with her. So that's why I started a podcast, just so I can hang about with cool people like yourself.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I'm so happy to be here.
And a fellow dancer, which I'm buzzing for as well. So we'll get into it.
Yes, let's do it.
So, what was wee Robyn like as a wee lassie? Where were you growing up?
So I grew up in Kirkintilloch.
Where are you, wee Kirky?
I was,
totally not far from here.
Yes,
Cool.
yeah. So, well, when I was younger, we grew up in, I lived in Lindsay and then we moved to Kirky a little bit later on. But I went to Lindsay Academy because of that, because I'd kind of started in Lindsay. But I think my childhood, was, it was great. I'll be honest. It was like pretty normal. Mum and dad are proper like grafters, really worked hard. They're from the East End of Glasgow. And I think I just loved it. I grew up really close to my brother. My brother's like 4 years younger than me. Okay. My sister's 18 years, so we didn't grow up with her, obviously.
Wow. Gosh, that's amazing.
I know, I was already up and out by the time she came. But I think little Robyn was quite fearless.
Really interesting.
Yeah, she was very fearless. I don't really know who I got that from, but I mean, it changes as you get older, doesn't it? Cause
would you not consider yourself fearless now? Because I would.
Would you?
I like all the things you're achieving, like amazing, just going for it.
Oh,
that's
honestly, you wouldn't believe what I was like. I was relentless.
Front and centre.
I was just like, I don't know. I think my mum used to say that I was a bit of I had lots of friends, like I was very sociable, but I was kind of like in my own lane, like I just kind of like to do my own thing. And I was very determined.
Dancing, sports, what's your kind of interest? Lots of interests?
Yeah, I was that kid at school that just did it all. Like I went to every club.
You were dead good at everything.
Oh, I don't know about that. I definitely can't sing. That's one thing I cannot do. But I did it all. I did like the running, loved the athletics and all of that.
Yes.
Dancing was such a big part of, but I didn't start till I was like 12, which now is funny to say that's like starting late, but actually it kind of was. A lot of my friends had did it since.
Totally. Although I know professional dancers that started late and or started later than that, and it's just like, you just whenever you find your thing, I guess,
Yeah.
and go for it.
Yeah, and I was just determined. I was like, Mum, I really want to go to dancing. And she was like, okay. And I was like, she was like, I'll find you one. So she found me one in Bishopbriggs, which I really loved. And that kind of shaped a lot of my kind of like teenage years, I would say.
Which is nice to find that thing at that age, because I guess for a lot of young people going to high school, they then tend to drop the thing that they've been doing for all those years, which is quite often sad to see if they don't fill it with something else. Do you know what I mean? Because I think even if you're not going to do dancing or singing or drama or whatever for a career, it's the life skills that you learn being part of something, going to classes every week, working with different people, like learning new skills, like, you know, it is life lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. And also being uncomfortable, like with not being good at something. Like it's really such a good life skill to just be like, I know I'm not good at this and I know it's going to take me a long time to get good at. Yes. I felt like that going in at like 12. I remember going in and they put me in the group that was like maybe 3 years below like my actual age, because I obviously had never done it.
Yeah, okay.
So I had to kind of basically like really like kind of graft to get put up. And I remember being like 12 and we did like our first show and I begged to be in the show. They were like, you've started a bit late in the year. I was like, please just let me in. Please, I want to be in the show. But I was like, I mean, I'm tiny. I'm 5'2", but I was still a head above these girls. Yeah, because I was like so much older. Please. And I came on a wee tap number and I was like doing this crocodile dance with these crocodile teeth like on my arms. Now at 12, like that's obviously
creative though. It's a costume. I'm quite impressed with that dance teacher.
very creative, but
like, take that note for later.
Ideal for a 9-year-old.
Yes, totally.
My mum was like, you were the best crocodile I've ever seen. And I was like, right, okay.
Gee, Tamo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work harder so I'm not a crocodile next year. But I do think that's good life skills to just be like, I'm not there yet. But,
totally.
You know.
And I think like I still work with young people a lot, and I don't know if I'm just noticing it more, if it's always been that way, but I find that a lot of young people are really scared to fail nowadays. And I don't know if it's a social media thing or pressures at school or whatever, but you know, to put yourself out there, even like kids that are coming to drama and dance, you think they're going to be uber confident.
No,
that's not the case. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them are there because parents have thought maybe this is the place where you would, which it is, you know. But just that thing, like even last night I was doing a class and somebody was like, I'm scared, you know, and it was literally just to talk to somebody else in the class, and I was like, you can absolutely do this. You're speaking to me, you know. But it was like, what if I get it wrong? I was like, you actually can't get this wrong. You know, but that fear of failure, but you didn't have that as a young person. You were just like gung-ho.
Yeah, well, I used to do this weird thing where I think I was very nervous, as in like I had alopecia and stuff when I was younger, so I definitely did have like that kind of nervous disposition, so to speak, right?
Okay, yep.
But I was fearless in the pursuit of it. Like I don't know what it was, but I was just like, I'm still going to do it even though I hate it.
Got you.
I was always quite good at doing stuff.
I mean, served you well. Yeah. Now.
I mean, it works.
Like, thank you to my former self.
Yeah. But then you get older and then you actually fail and, you know, it gets harder.
Oh, that's grown up malarkey. I didn't sign up for half of it.
I know.
Yeah. And I guess the industry that you're in, like that's one of the scariest industries to be in, the most maybe precarious, you know, because TV and broadcast and film and radio, like, I mean, every day is different and it must be very exciting, and I'm sure we'll get on to it, but also there's that nature of like, is it going to be forever? What am I doing next? Yeah, all that. So does that excite you though, to an extent?
It depends on the day.
Okay. I love your honesty. Yes, correct.
Depends on
People
the day.
always are like, you just must love your job, and I'm like, yeah. And then, do you feel like sometimes, I'm totally putting my own slant on this, that you can't like complain, or you can't, because you're like, you have to be grateful all the time for doing this like amazing job, because you've got an amazing job and you're in an amazing position. Yeah. But it's hard work.
Oh yeah.
Like, so you've been up from what time this morning?
4:30 this morning.
What? I mean, I'm only getting up at that time tomorrow because I'm going on my holidays.
Oh, that's the best reason to get up at that time.
Yeah, that's wild. That's intense in itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's tough, and I haven't always necessarily got up at that time. But even like the kind of, I guess I always think, because of the kind of broadcasting I do, it's not the same for everyone. Everyone does different, genres and things like that.
Yes,
but for me, I'm like, people turn me on because they want me to lift them up. That's like my job.
Yes, you need to be on. You can't. You just can't go to your work and just be there. Like it's a performance.
Yeah, there's definitely. I always say like, what I do is like me on a good day. So it's authentic, it's genuine, and certainly on the radio, what I really love is because it feels like a wee bit more intimate than telly, and so I feel like if I am tired that day, you can say, but you're always kind of saying it in like, especially with like the brands that I'm on and things like that, like you're kind of saying it in a way that's, but we'll do it together.
Relatable.
Yeah. But you're also, I can't go on and really give anyone your worries, They say, turn her off. Get that Dua Lipa back on. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Totally. I'm here for a good time.
Yes. But such a skill to do that when you are tired or you're overworked or that you're not like necessarily quite bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 4:30 in the morning, but you know, you're like, I need a good half hour before I need my coffee.
Oh gosh, yeah. And it's always a bit like perspective, right? In fact, today is like a particularly long day. Not every day is like as long as that.
And I just asked you to come on a podcast.
And I was like, I can do that. I was like, what time I can squeeze this in? Because again, no, but it's perfect because that's like, it sounds very cheesy, but me and my partner have this thing where if one of us is really tired or they're like, oh, we've got a lot to do. And it's like, this is the life we asked for.
Yep, you chose it.
Yeah, this is the life that we have dreamed of.
And worked hard for.
Yeah, so actually it's a privilege that you get to do it. And sometimes, you know, it's hard to always have that perspective. But as a general rule, 9 times out of 10, like if one of us is like, oh, I'm tired, you know, the other one will be like, this is what we dreamed for. This is what we've asked the universe for. Don't tell the universe you don't want it, you know?
Right, okay.
Yeah, because there's been plenty of times.
Pass the coffee.
That's it. There's been plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I dreamed to do that when I'm handing out burgers or whatever it is I've done to, you know, so...
because I guess if people haven't known you prior to what you're doing now, so you're in Capital at the morning, which is amazing.
I am, yeah.
I guess people just think, oh, that just happened. These things just happen.
I love it.
So were you in the pursuit of being on radio as a young person?
No, I wasn't really weirdly. I was in the pursuit of being an entertainer, I think.
Because you started on TV.
Kids TV.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was my bit. Now, I did pursue that. That was definitely not, I mean, I was, I guess, kind of young. I went down to London to a performing arts school. But that was mostly just because I got to a kind of point in my life and my journey and things where I was like, I just need to like just go for it and just see where I kind of land. But when I got there, it was very overwhelming.
I can imagine.
You're a tadpole in an ocean.
I didn't do the London thing because I'm not equipped for that.
It's
Robyn.
a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
It is a lot. But when I got there, one thing that I definitely discovered was presenting, which was amazing because I just never really thought about, it sounds silly, I'd never really thought
your
about
bingo
it.
card kind of thing. Yeah.
I'd never thought about it being a job. You know, I'd always watched the show that sticks in my head is like Ant and Dec and Cat Daly and the Saturday show, and I would always watch stuff like that. I'm like, that's really cool. Hadn't put two and two together. That was a job. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Sounds so silly.
No, not at all.
But I hadn't really thought about it until I'd kind of got down there, and by that point I was about 18, 19, and that's when I realised actually, like, I like my dancing, but the lifestyle, everything, it just wasn't quite it. And then that's when I kind of discovered presenting. So I guess that's when I started pursuing kids telly, and I went all in. I just want to be, my dream job was to do a show like Cat Daly. I wanted to do it, the Saturday show like Cat Daly, and it wasn't until I actually did Scrambled on ITV that I realised it was actually the same production company.
Oh,
which is mad.
Goodness
so
me.
I really had like manifested.
She's a pure full circle, like back to like the dream. Yeah. Amazing. And yeah, I really admire that. I mean, I admire you going to London at such a young age, like to pursue your goals. But then at that point, still at a very young age, to be like, no, actually, this isn't for me, but I'm going to pursue this thing that was even on the radar kind of thing. But an equally competitive, if you like, and quite a tricky industry to navigate, I would imagine.
I think I was naive.
You're like, sack of dancing, I'll just go in the telly, it's fine.
Like, wait, 500 brunettes going to kick their legs. Oh, I'll go in the room, there's only 200. Let's do that instead.
But like, obviously a natural ability to just light up the screen at that point and talk to people and make people feel like excited and get them like feeling like you're in the living room.
Yeah. I mean,
which is a total skill. I think people underestimate the skill of presenting, to be totally honest with you. Yeah, like I've had these conversations and it's like you don't just turn up and just say some words, do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I know.
A lot of preparation, I guess, as well for kids TV, and the same amount of energy as radio.
Oh gosh,
in the morning, geeing people up, like being excited.
Yeah, definitely. And at long hours, really long hours. You know, you're on set 12 hours, probably maybe 14, depending on. You're there till it's done, sort of thing. And I mean, I just loved it. I felt like I was just living in a dream. I was like, how many hours? Yeah, no problem. Like, totally. Honestly. And some of my co-hosts, there was 4 of us, 4 presenters that did Scrambled. And some of them had did it for years. Really, really skilled. And I learned so much. I was just like...
Pure osmosis. You're just taking it all in.
Yeah, it was amazing. And like the skill of those guys is just like, it's not easy to be funny, to know your lines. We don't have any autocue, nothing. Oh. So we used to get like a ring binder, like very thick ring binder on like the Sunday night. You'd have to learn it roughly by the Monday we'd do like a read through, and it'd have to be off book by the Tuesday. And I'd be up all night.
Had you done any drama training?
Well, yeah, because I'd gone to performing arts school.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't know how to. I'm dyslexic as well, so I definitely did not know how to memorise that much material in such a short space of time.
Yep.
So definitely, I remember my first few months at Scrambled, like it was total meltdown territory on a Sunday night, with everything be printed out, it'd be highlighted.
For an exam.
Literally.
Like, how can I get this in my brain? I've studied for the wrong exam.
Yeah, exactly. Although it's like Hotel Transylvania and like Tom and Jerry, you know, like no physics here.
But equally important.
Yeah.
Even absolutely.
More so even.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gosh. So how long were you on that programme?
2 years I did Scrambled for, yeah.
And was it a definite decision to move back to Scotland for you? Like, or was that because of the job?
Yeah, because of the job, yeah. So I'd done Scrambled for years. Then as I was on Scrambled, I started radio. So I went into Fun Kids Radio because I was on Kids Telly, so it kind of made sense. Yep. So I did that, and then when I was there, I then started just covering at Radio 1. So I just used to go in and cover.
Just casual, covering at Radio 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
So yeah, it was amazing, and it was definitely such a learning curve for me because obviously I had lots of broadcasting experience by that point. I did like other things other than just Scrambled. I did, Sky and stuff like that. But in terms of radio is a completely different skill and it's a different art form. So I didn't really know that world. So that was a huge learning curve for me. And then I got a call to ask if I, would like a job at Capital. And naturally, because I was there, I was like, yeah. And they're like, it's in Scotland. And I was like, okay. So I was like, just give me a minute because I've been here for 12 years. It's a long time.
Gosh.
So yeah, but it was such a big opportunity. I couldn't say no. And also like being home, you don't know.
Back up the road.
Yeah. And yeah, there's always something nice about coming home to your family and stuff as well. So it was nice.
I totally admire that trajectory though. Like it's incredible. And you just going after the things that you're obviously clearly born to do, but just like you were saying, like that fearlessness. Would you still say you
I don't know.
Are a fearless person?
I would say I feel the fear and do it anyway, but I think I feel it more than I did.
But is it about that, like the more like skilled, the more like experienced we get, then we're like, is it because we know all the things that could happen? Is that maybe what it is? Like naivety is like, because Jean Johans was saying the exact same thing. She was like, oh, I just turn up, I can do this. Now, in your kind of former years, like you're just like, wow, like I was so brave then. Now as an older person or older than when I started, you're going, oh, what about this and what if I said this and what if that doesn't go right, and rather than just going for it. Yeah. But I'm glad you're saying that you're going for it anyway, regardless of the fears.
You are right though. I think it's almost like the better you become at something, it's like the more you know where the pitfalls are. And I remember like when I was covering, doing some radio and people saying, you've got this fantastic skill at like when you mess up, just coming back on and just as if it never happened. And I genuinely remember thinking it's because I don't know that I'm messing up. Like in that moment, I was like, I just hadn't.
You're like, I messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I genuinely was like, did I? Like,
love it. Like,
right. Yeah. I'm
take
so
the
good
notes.
at that.
Don't know what the note is.
Yeah, so I do think there is something in naivety, and I think if someone said to me at the beginning of my journey how long it was going to take me, there's no way I would have like stepped on the treadmill. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that they didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've tried to quit so many times.
You're too good. You're like, no.
I don't even know if it's that or if it's just like you're not feeling, and you're just like, oh, I can't. What am I going to do?
I always do the thing like, what else would I be doing? Yeah. Literally skilled for nothing else. Do you know what I mean? Literally, people would be like, I used to work at McDonald's when I was at school, and I'm like, they wouldn't have me now. I mean, I didn't even work the tills at McDonald's, so I literally would be absolutely right. I was cleaning bins at the time. So yeah, nobody would have me. So it's just as well I can still jump about and make a noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But my skill teachers would look at the report and be like, the only thing she would probably be good at would be chatting.
Listen.
all the classes. I was proper good at school, I felt like, because I had the same kind of mentality. I was like, how hard can it be? Just learn the stuff, do the exam, and then you don't have to think about it again.
Great.
So I was a bit like that at school. Yeah. So I got good grades, but that was only to please my parents, really. So they would let me go and do what I wanted.
Right, my way to do my actual dream.
Yeah.
And along the way, like, particular jobs, I'm guessing, will have taught you different lessons.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Any particular standout moments for you where you're like, right, okay, that is noted?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I mean, Scrambled definitely, I think, for me was just such a huge, fast, steep learning curve. And I remember someone saying to me, kids TV, you know, there's a reason, obviously the trajectory is different now because we've got social media and things like that. But years ago, the trajectory was always starting kids and then you worked your way up to normal broadcasting. That was kind of always the trajectory of, well, like, you know, the Holly Willoughbys and the Cat Dailies and Anne and Dec and all of that. That was always the trajectory. And the reason for that was because it's so gun-ho and it's such a baptism of fire that actually you have to get better because you have no choice. Okay. It's so fast-paced. There's always a lot more energy in the room. It's also not usually got like as much money, so time is money, so things have got to happen faster. So I definitely do think that was a big one that I learned, but I think I learned mostly actually, like in terms of mindset, I think I learned off of the jobs that weren't in performing.
Okay, interesting.
So I feel like, because I've literally done it all. If you name a job, I can tell you I've done it. Honestly, I've done it all. I've served so many burgers. I've handed out flyers at train stations at 5 a.m, dressed as a banana one time. I was like, how much? 80 quid? Yeah, give me the suit.
I'll be there.
Doing
my banana thing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I know,
I've done that.
I've dressed as a Paw Patrol character last year.
Oh, I love it.
Last year. I mean, 44, nearly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, wild. Yeah, you just got to embrace it. And it like that. It is just embracing it and going, this will be a good story to tell on a podcast.
I know, but it's hard, man.
It is.
It's hard sometimes. Sometimes you go home and you're like, I remember there was one moment where I used to pull the pints at the cricket.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how it works at the cricket is they just have one type of beer. And so you're literally just, and it's essentially a wheelie bin. It's essentially a wheelie bin, right? And the beer's on top of the wheelie bin and you're literally just pouring like this, like for hours, right? And I don't know if you know much about cricket, but you don't know when a cricket match is going to end.
Yes. I remember hanging about a cricket club when I was a teenager because my pal's dad played cricket. I mean, I still don't know what the rules are. I was there every weekend.
To be fair.
Yeah. But I was there a long time sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it can go on days or it can be cut short. So you never knew if you were working 5 shifts, 1 shift, whatever. And but you'd be there for hours. So I remember just pulling pints, and the crowd, you know, I don't know if the game was going wrong, I don't know if I was on the wrong side of the stadium just that particular day, I'm not sure, but no one was particularly friendly that day.
Like, guys, I'm just doing my job. I'm just trying to make a living here.
It was just one of them days. And to be fair, like, I am such a believer of, like, you get back what you put out. And probably I don't want to be there that day, you know? Like, I don't know.
Quite really so.
Yeah. But I had one of them days where I came home and I just was like, I actually can't do this anymore, you know? So
doing that again.
Yeah, I just, like, called my mum and I was just like, I think I'm going to come back to Scotland just for a breather. So I did. I came back for like a couple of months. At the time I was kind of still dancing, so then I did panto. So I knew that was kind of in the sight. So I always think that that's such an important thing, because I think sometimes when you sit down, you talk about your journey, it's so easy to miss out those big gaps.
You're absolutely right.
Where you were like, I can't do this.
All the highlights reel of the big jobs, the big names, the big moments. But yeah, like you say, it's all those bits in between.
Oh yeah.
And still probably nowadays, do you know what I mean? Like you're still probably saying yes to things like coming on a podcast. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping you've learned a lesson today, Robyn.
I wanted to be here.
But coming on a podcast.
No,
like,
this is great.
Lesson learned. Like, don't talk to that lassie again. She rabbits on.
Absolutely not. It's a pleasure.
But, yeah, just like those like moments where you're like, oh, actually, I didn't see myself being there doing that thing. But yeah, very, very, very valuable lesson learned. As in like, a great lesson learned, or like, I'm not doing that again.
Absolutely, yeah. And I tend to just try everything 3 times. It's kind of my thing. Like, if you try it 3 times and you still hate it, fine.
Okay.
That's kind of my thing.
The magic number.
I don't know. I made that up, the 3, but it works for me because I think that first time is, you're never really going to like it because you're normally a bit uncomfortable. You don't know what you're doing. Second time, I'm like, you kind of know a wee bit. And then the third time, I think you know enough to be like, do I like this? Do I not? So I kind of do try and just kind of go with that as a little rule of thumb.
Just, you've got to experiment, you've got to try, you've got to put your, I guess, where you are in your career now, very established, you have all that experience behind you. It's equally still as important, I'm guessing, to try new things and put yourself out that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because
never
do you have like goals that beyond of what you're doing just now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I do think you get to... It's funny because I think there's been times in my life where I've felt like they've been huge, huge milestones and I've been like, oh my gosh, I've done this and I've made it, and I've really felt like that feeling. And it's so interesting because they're not necessarily the same moments that the outside world then congratulate you to that level. And then there's been moments where I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm looking forward to doing this job, but I've not had that, oh my gosh, feeling.
Yes.
And, the outside world is like, this is amazing. And it's so interesting. Like, and I think it's maybe important that I've realised now that you got to just do it for you, because actually it's you that's getting up to do it every day, hopefully.
Yes.
Or
you're not
maybe
doing it for the
not.
gram, not doing it for like the wee emojis or just click.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nice
not.
to get those milestone things or those big moments, but like it's got to come from the heart.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's weird how they don't necessarily kind of like marry up. So yeah, when people say to me like, oh, are you there? I'm like, oh, it's so funny because I feel like I've not even got started.
Interesting. That's great. I think that's a
Which is
positive
weird,
thing. No,
but-
I think that's great. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And obviously, you're a very young person. You've got your whole life in front of you.
Well, yeah, because I don't like the idea that, what have I got, like 40 years of working still in me? Do you know what I mean?
Keep pushing the pension age now. Literally,
It'll be 60.
I'll literally fall down.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be like, oh, she's away. All right, okay.
That's it.
That's it. What, do you
So
know what
I'm
I mean?
like, I would like to think that there's obviously
course.
still growth in that, because that's kind of what keeps us alive, and as in like feeling alive, not actually alive, but
Absolutely.
so it makes you feel
Yeah.
alive, and it's kind of like what keeps you pushing, and like,
Definitely. I know, because I think like sometimes the graft can appear like, oh, that you've not made it, or that you're pursuing this thing that doesn't exist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm like, that is just my norm. That is my default.
Yeah.
And to people who don't do that because they're in their job and they love their job, or maybe they don't love their job, but that's their priority, or that's how their life is worked out. I think I can sometimes be seen as like, what is she up to now? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
ever
like,
changing.
and I used to be a bit like, because I got to a certain age, I'm like, maybe should I have figured this out by now? Like, am I a bit of a like, she's not really managed to quite get there? And I'm like, no, actually, I like all the things that I do, and I like mixing it up.
yeah.
And I would be worried if I became complacent or that things were just a bit samey. Like, to be fair, I have been there at points and went, this isn't right, that time to move on. And maybe the universe is usually just threw me a curveball, and I'm like, all right, okay, it's telling me to move on.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's true.
So is there, like, can you think of a specific moment where it's been a big deal for you, but maybe not to the outside world, like something that's you've done or been given, you're like, oh, actually that was
huge for me. Yeah,
Brilliant.
I think definitely that call when I got scrambled, for me, I'd worked so hard to get on kids' TV that I was just like, I just remember crying and being like, oh my gosh, I've actually done this. Like, I was just like, it's the closest I think I'll ever get to Euphoria. I don't think I'll get that again. But I genuinely...
No, you will.
But I just think, I don't know, but I just was just like, I think I was shocked. I was like, oh, I've actually done it. I think I've just been going for like 3 years, whatever it was, trying to get, onto... I was doing other jobs. I had like... I was in I did like basically travel presenting and stuff, which was amazing. I went to Mexico and did all of this. So I had some really good jobs before that.
Yeah.
But that job was like for me. Whereas, and people were like, oh, that's really cool, you're on kids' telly. But it didn't have, say, the same reaction as maybe like a Capital or a Radio 1 or, it didn't have that same impact.
Whereas when you're telling me that, I'm like, that's huge. You got in kids' telly.
Yeah.
I think that's massive.
For me, it was
Yeah,
because I was just like, and now I think when people look back, like, oh gosh, that is like really cool. But I guess if you don't have kids or if it's just not the realm that you're in.
It's not on your radar
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
not on your radar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So whereas for me, I was just like, oh, this is like massive.
Huge.
And it was, it was a huge show before it finished, and it's ITV, and yeah, it was a really big platform for sure, but it's kind of one of those platforms that like if you're in the arena, you know that perhaps, and
Yes, of course.
then not so much outside, but yeah, it's
And
interesting.
being at Capital, how long now?
2.5 years.
Okay.
Gosh, yeah, 2.5
And I'm
years.
guessing you'll have, every day's different. You'll have your routine that I guess you have to do every morning, and things that you literally have to have your brain switched on. Like, I can't even imagine. But there'll be moments at Capital you're like, well, pinch me. Like, what's going on here? Like, people that you've met or people you've been able to work with or just... Also, I think with radio, and you're connecting with real people as much as you're connecting with celebrities. There'll be stories and stuff that you're hearing and getting privy to along the way that
Oh gosh, yeah.
What a privilege, do you know what I mean? Just to be part of people's lives like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have a joke because when I first got to Capital, we had this competition running. It was leading up to Christmas, and it was basically this secret sound competition, right, where you had to work out what the sound was.
Yes.
There was money up for grabs right before Christmas.
Okay.
And naturally, as you would, you know, whoever comes on, they come on and they're like, you're like, what would you do with the money? They tell you what they would do with the money. Every single time the contestant on my show didn't get it, I'd come off air and cry.
Bless you.
And the guys were like, it's very clear that you've not done a lot of radio. Like,
so invested.
And I was just so in it.
Oh,
because
bless.
you're right, you're getting to hear people's real stories, and it's right before Christmas, and I was like, oh, please, 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 like, please, you know, just begging that they would have got it. So yeah, it is a privilege. You are right, and I do love it. There definitely is moments where you're getting an insight like that, and then, you know, on the flip side, you're backstage at Wembley and you're talking to, like, you know, the big stars, like, you know.
Because there'll be all that kind of stuff as well as, like, sitting at, you know, the desk and sitting in front of a microphone. There'll be red carpet stuff and, like, I guess with social media now, there'll be all these different kind of junkets and things that you've got to do that are extra to being on the radio in the morning.
Yes. So we have, like, I think called Capital's Summertime Ball and Jingle Bell Ball, which is like a big, massive concert in Wembley and the O2, depending on which one it is. And so, yeah, now part of the breakfast team, I get to go backstage, do a live show from there, and interview all the artists. So, like, yeah, like last year we did, like, something wild, like 15 interviews back to back. It was like, okay, here's Rita Ora, okay, here's Zara Larson, here's Jessie J, here's the, you know, I picked all the girlies there, but it wasn't all girls. James Hype was there too. But yeah, there is moments where you're like, oh wow, this is
and you have
major.
to just
We're
do
doing
your
it.
job and not do that starstruck thing, I'm guessing.
I weirdly don't get it.
Do you not?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I do get a little starstruck if, like, I meet, like, a presenter that I really rate. So see someone that I'm like, oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, I don't think I'm going to do this right.
I like you.
Yeah.
And how you do your job. And you're awesome.
Yeah.
Totally. I
Weirdly,
totally
I get it
understand
then.
that, yeah. Well, I guess these artists are just real people like you. Do you know what I mean?
my
Like
gosh,
doing their job and they're in the mix and they've had a long day probably just the same as you and they're maybe overwhelmed and everybody's just trying to
crack on.
Exactly.
And they're knackered because it's sound check. And yeah, definitely. 99.9% of them are always lovely anyway.
That's nice
so
to hear. That's
yeah,
good. Yeah, totally. Anybody that you were kind of buzzing to meet and have had the opportunity to, whether it be a presenter or an artist?
Yeah, someone that's kind of like been on my list. I mean, I do think Rita Ora was actually quite a big one, I think.
I loved her Louis Theroux doc that she did a couple of years ago. She came across really well.
She's such a cool... She's so
just
cool.
Very cool. She is very cool.
I was like, she's effortlessly cool.
Yes.
And I think it's nice as well seeing, like, the other artists that are, like, kind of just breaking through, like Lola Young. She was lovely. And I think there's something really nice about getting to meet people, like, at closer to the beginning. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know she's been grafting for 10 years as everyone else. You know, that's usually how it works. But in terms of the mainstream, she's really cut through now. So it's nice to be a part of that. And I just hope that, like, in 10 years' time, it's like, gosh, remember you were in the opening slot and now you're headlining, or it's nice to be
part of that journey and to see somebody's trajectory as well, because I guess you'll be having returning guests along the way as well that you're like, I remember the first time I met you, now you're here, you're doing this, like being part of that story, I guess, as well. Yeah,
it's already kind of happening a wee bit. Like, there's definitely artists that were like, oh gosh, like we, you know, interviewed them and they were maybe just not just, but doing like SWG3 and now they're back doing the Hydro, and it's pretty cool. And like I got to interview Lewis Capaldi, which I thought was really cool. Just because there was something nice about him being Scottish, and although ironically we were, you know, further away from home to do it, but you know, that's just always the way. But yeah, he was lovely as well, and I think, I don't know, there's something nice about having that normal conversation with what is a really big star.
Yeah, well, he just always comes across as somebody who just is wearing their...
Lewis Capaldi doesn't know he's Lewis Capaldi, I don't think.
I
don't know if anyone's told him.
I think that's probably a good idea, eh? Like with the pressures and the enormity of his stardom. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously everybody saw the documentary and all that, but yeah, it's lovely to see him back making music. And, sharing that with the world, because one talented human for sure.
I know.
And like with your role, I guess, like getting asked to come on podcasts, there'll be other things that you're asked to do, be ambassadors for things, like show up to events, different things. Like, how do you juggle all of that? Because I guess you're getting asked to do things. That's why I'm like so thankful you're here, because I know your diary's jam packed as it is, just with the things that you have to do and then the things that you want to do, and so you can't say yes to everything. But I'm guessing you do get asked to be part of other realms and different things, like because of your status on the radio every day,
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's just like I was kind of saying earlier, it's like it's genuinely a privilege, like, because you're just like, oh gosh, this is exciting. I've kind of got to a point now where like, you get opportunities a wee bit more than maybe you had before. Definitely not as many as obviously you would love. Like, you would just love to, I mean, once you get a PA, I think, you've made it, like that's the absolute. I actually
phoned my mum the other day and I was like, could you just please quit your job and just work for me? I actually can't pay you. But, you've been hanging about with me, mum. And she's like, right, okay. What do you need me to do?
Oh, I'd love that.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be fabulous. It'd be fabulous.
It's coming for you, Robyn. It's coming.
We'll manifest it. But yeah, totally. It's just also just picking, like, I think I used to just say yes to everything, and then I realised that actually that's not that great, because you actually are trying to save your energy. I know it sounds silly, but not even energy as in like just tiredness, but just like you're genuine, like giving out, and you also don't want to go on and just be rubbish, like because you're too tired or whatever it might be.
Of course.
So I think it's also knowing what's the right fit as well. I think there's a lot of things that sometimes I'm like, I think that's really cool opportunity. I'm just not your gal for that.
Yeah, I've done that too before, and people are like, no, I'll be good. And I'm like, no, I'm genuinely saying, like, I don't think I'll do the right job for you. And I'm okay with that. And so should you. But I do know somebody who would be great. So here's the number.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's part of that industry as well, of like just supporting each other and being like, I know where it's good to stay in your lane to an extent.
I agree.
It's good to veer off when you really fancy something, like you were saying, like going after things you're like, okay, that wasn't my bingo card. But also sometimes you're just like, I know who I am, like I know my brand, if you like. It's important to own that.
Yeah. And if you are, I would always say to anyone that's kind of like starting out, especially if you're creative, if you're kind of starting out in the journey, it's like the more you can understand yourself and your brand, the easier it becomes, because then you also don't have even any like comparison thing going on. Like, you don't go on to Instagram and see people doing X, Y, and Z and think, oh, I'd love to have done that, because you're like, that's actually not my lane right now. And it might change in the future, but it just kind of also allows you to know where you sit. It also allows you to know when you go into audition rooms, or, whether it's chats with broadcasters, whatever it might be, you know what it is that you bring to the table, and you know what you don't. And it's okay that you don't, because you can't bring it all like to that high level. So I think knowing yourself, but that takes time. It takes time.
Still figuring that out.
I know, it takes time. It takes so much. Aren't we all in it? And then the problem is you figure yourself out and then you change again.
Yeah.
And I've definitely found that. I found the transition to come from kids TV into like TV broadcasting outside of kids, that was tricky for me, because I was like, oh, how do I make that transition? You can't just wake up one day and be like, guys, I don't do kids anymore.
Totally.
Like, that's not how that works.
I'm not in that world anymore. Yeah, totally. It is a transition.
So you have to, your brand has to change, your socials have to change, what you wear has to change, and then you grow up as well. So it's kind of like an ever-changing thing, but knowing where you sit and within each bit really helps, I think.
But I do really admire that you did make that shift. You went after that, it was presented and you're like, do you know, I'm going to go, because I guess you could stay quite safe in that lane or whatever, in that world. You're like, I know what I'm doing here, but no, you have goals and aspirations to do other things.
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely. It was always the plan. Like, I really hoped and dreamed that was going to be my first like step on the ladder, and it really was, but it was only ever, for a first step in the ladder. And I mean, incredible to say that ITV was that for me. So, because it's such a big channel, obviously, but I do think that, just knowing where you want to go is really important. And listen, if a kids show that came up and it was the right fit, like I could definitely still do it.
Of course.
It would be great. But having, like, knowing where you're going really helps, I think.
So where are you going? Not that I'm...
As far as
I'm not giving it exclusive.
I know, I'd love to be like, here we go, guys.
But, are there particular things you're like, at some point in my career, I would like to say, I'm doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm such like a visual person. I'm like such a vision board person. So I definitely have one of those at home for sure.
Nice.
With like the different bits and bobs, like more specifics that I would love to do. But I think overall, I think it's just getting back into TV broadcasting again. I do like little bits and bobs, but it would be amazing to kind of have a show that I'm kind of like a big part of again. I'd really love that, as well as doing my radio. Like that would be the perfect
You've got like a kind
balance.
of show in mind, like what kind of show?
Yeah.
See, I'm only asking because Jean Johansson says we've got to get specific, and I was like, right, what
She's
is it?
right.
She's right.
She's right. I really rate Jean, you know. I really do.
Yeah, she was like, Lisa, what do you want what do you want for this podcast? I'm like, I don't know, Jean, but I'll figure it out, I promise.
Did she come here with her highlighters?
She was
print
yep.
sticks. Let's do this vision board right
Totally.
now.
I was like, I'm taking this advice on board. Yeah, so I'm just interested, like if there is a specific vision of you sitting on a sofa, or you're doing a culinary type programme, or what, like, is there an idea of what you would like to do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love to do the daytime, you know, broadcasting. I think that's something that would really fit well with me and what I enjoy.
Yes.
So like, you know, the list, like the This Mornings of the world. But I also would love to do like a big adventure show, kind of like a challenge show basically.
Yes.
I'd love to host something like that.
That would be cool.
I kind of would love for it to have like some sort of dating element to it. So like a challenge dating show.
Interesting.
I'd love something like that.
You watch Love Island, and I'm guessing you're a...
Yeah, I do, but I was more... I think I love... have you seen Are You the One?
No.
Okay, so it's an American format, I believe. Totally correct me in the comments, which I'm sure you will if I'm wrong. But it's basically a concept where there's like 20 singles that have been matched up, like by science. They don't know who they've been matched up with, and they're put in this big house, and they've got to try and find their perfect match. And each time they kind of like try and find their perfect match, there's these huge big torches that light up if any of them are right. They do it once a week.
Hot and cold. Like,
yes.
Hot, cold.
It's exactly like that. So once a week, there's 10 lights, and say like 4 of them light up. That means there's 4 perfect matches. They've managed to get 4 right. They don't know which 4 they are. But every week that they do it, they lose money. Like every time. So it's like quite like a challenge show, but it's got the dating element. And I love that as a format. Okay. I'd love to host something like that.
Yeah, I've never like watched really like dating shows or whatever, but like I'm intrigued with this one.
Yes.
Actually,
it's like a challenge one. I'm like, yeah, or there's one out at the minute that's like Honeymoon Islands.
Oh, I've seen this
where they got like
yes.
married and thrown onto an island. I'm like, yes, survival skills, but like, are we cute and are we dating? Perfect.
And we're making a fire.
And there's not makeup brush in sight. Like, totally. It's so fun.
I did turn one on once with my partner, and it was everybody was naked. We lasted for literally about 5 minutes. We were like, this isn't for us. We'll just go back to watching like our usual The Chase.
So back to Bradley.
Well, I very much look forward to seeing you host this new show of yours whenever you manifest that into the world, Robyn.
That would be amazing.
Thoughts become things, as they say.
They do.
I massively appreciate you being here because I know how precious your time is. And you've already given so much great advice just from telling your story thus far. And I know we've not even scratched the surface because like you're saying, all the jobs, all the things that you've done along the way. If you were to speak to your younger self at this moment in time, I guess maybe just on the periphery of going out into the world doing our thing, what would you say to Robyn?
Yeah, I think I would definitely say you're not too late. You're not too old and you're not too late. But the longer you leave it, the older you become and the later you become. So just do it. I'm
taking that.
I really do think that. Because I just remember, like, it's so funny to think back now, but I just remember being like, no, I can't pursue this. I'm 24 now and, you know, I'm not on the telly.
Wow, that's wild, isn't it?
When you think about it, it's mad.
That's wild.
Yeah, so I do remember there was definitely, and listen, I do understand the, like, a wee bit of urgency helps push us and gets us there. But I do think that if I'd spent less time worrying about the time I didn't do, I hadn't already, that had already passed, then I would have been a lot further on.
Yeah, it's interesting that thing, because I think at school, obviously, we're kind of sold, I don't know what it's like nowadays, but this, like, you know, you need to get the grades and you're picking your choices now and this is the rest of your life. And you're like, actually, hello, stop, it's not actually. Like, it's okay, it's for now, and yeah, I guess for some spheres it is, like, you need to get the grades, but like, it doesn't need to be as final as that at that moment. And then, you can change course at any point. Yeah, and you're going to be, so I'm 43 today. Remember?
Oh, it's your birthday today.
I actually had 44 earlier on. See, this is what I do.
Why have we not got a birthday cake here?
I age myself by a year just the minute I become one age. But yeah, like, and I'm going, like, what am I going to, like, I might do something different. Like, and I think that's all right.
It's actually what's exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, totally.
But it is scary, and and I think it's okay to be like, oh, I'm a bit scared, but you just doing it anyway.
Like you said earlier on, I think that's great advice. Just go for it. Well, I know whatever you go for next is going to be awesome because you're totally boxing it. I genuinely meant it when I said, like, I felt like I knew you before I'd even met you. You walked in the studio and I was like, this is a person, like, the kind of person you want to hang about with. And I've had such a lovely time hanging out with you.
Me too.
I'm just looking forward to seeing what you're getting up to next via your socials. Thank you so much, because I definitely think that you're Braw and brave in equal measures.
Oh, thank you so much.
And,
also, fantastic name. I love it.
Thanks, pal. Thank you very
really
much.
Love
we do
it.
like a bit of alliteration.
I love it. It's really good.
Robyn Richford, thank you for being on the Braw and the Brave.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for watching. Please, again, like I'm always saying, follow the socials, go and follow Robyn, and we'll see you next time on the Braw and the Brave. Bye for now.